All right, fun's over. Don't worry.
Do you know Lamb Chop?
Yes, of course.
Like Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop?
Yeah, sure.
Because we were talking about kiddie shows just before we started. So there was a story in the
Well, you better specify. That's a little.
Lamb Chop was
We're gonna open up with kiddie shows.
little puppet.
Yes, of
and
course,
Sherry
Lamb Chop.
Lewis was a ventriloquist and a comedian, and
Jerry Lewis?
Sherry Lewis.
Oh. I was going to say, I didn't think he had a hand puppet, unless Dean Martin was kind of his hand puppet.
That's right.
Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. Dean's camp won't like that.
Dean was never a puppet.
I know.
Dean wouldn't deal with his stuff.
But go ahead.
But anyway, Sherry's daughter, who still tours with Lamb Chop, has licensed Lamb Chop out as a pet toy, and is one of the most popular pet toys on the market. Dogs love this.
It's a dog toy?
Yes, it's a dog toy.
Lamb Chop.
Yes, they have a Lamb Chop dog toy.
Pull it up, Tony. Let's see what Lamb Chop.
It's in the New York Times.
Let's
I don't know.
see if
Maybe
you
there's
can
a
pull up,
picture of the lamb.
Yeah,
and there's a picture.
Pull up a picture.
There's
of
one
Lamb Chop.
picture. This one dog, and I mean the dog is just like, I mean he's in love with this thing. He's like holding it, and it's like he has his face on her.
You know who's also a big fan of lamb chops is my mom. But the actual lamb chops.
Yes,
she likes lamb
yes,
chops.
of course,
She's a big
yes,
fan of lamb.
yes,
Do you eat lamb chops?
Not really.
No?
Not a lamb chop.
Not a lamb chopper?
Lamb guy. Not a lamb guy.
By the way, welcome to the Steve Squared Show. I'm your host, Funny Man Stevie K, alongside Funny Man, the Emster.
There's only one funny man, and that's you.
You're always calm, cool, and collected. See now, you're in half winter, half summer gear.
Look, I feel great. Ever since I've been trying to do better.
Lean. You look. You've been doing great. We talk about this. It's an ongoing story. Steve looks fantastic.
I ate pasta tonight, so it was really bad.
Don't worry.
You know,
What kind of pasta?
just like rigatoni with a little meat sauce
From where?
from home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought maybe an Umberto stop.
No,
or
my
something
mom
like
made
that.
some. I did go to Umberto's yesterday. It was another bad one, but I had margarita slices.
What do you mean it was a bad one?
Margaritas.
Not
I
a bad
pizza.
episode.
I had slices. But I had margarita.
I thought you had a
slices.
bad encounter with them.
Oh no, I've never had one.
You're a big fan of Umberto's.
I do
We
enjoy them.
both endorse Umberto's.
Yes.
And on my right, hey, what's going on, Tonester?
Hi guys, I got
Hey, guys.
your. If you look, you got your.
Lamb chop.
Lamb chop dog toy is sitting on in front of you. You see it?
Not yet. It'll
Not
probably.
yet.
We're a little.
No, it's there. If you keep looking.
Oh, there he is. Oh, look at this. He is. Look at it, Steve.
Why can't I see it?
It's right in the middle.
Oh,
the
that's
bottom.
why. That's so funny. I was like, is that on the desk? How did you do that? Look at Tony. He doesn't get paid the big bucks for nothing. High tech right there. That's AI.
And I actually,
It's AI at its best.
And I actually mentioned that to somebody who I know who has dogs, and he says it's true because my dogs, I get them for my dogs, and they rip it up to shreds. They love it so
Lamb
much.
chop.
Yeah.
So the daughter performs though with lamb chop.
yes, she still performs with lamb chop like her mother.
Now,
did.
it's great that you bring this up, and I always am able to tie things together because I was
course.
going to talk about Jeff Dunham has a special now
Oh,
called Scrooged Up. It's a holiday special, and he's got all the gang for a real Christmassy thing. You know Jeff Dunham, right?
Yeah.
Tony? He's I love Jeff.
Oh.
And I was saying there is no. He's like the only one. It's hard for that market to succeed as a puppeteer, a ventriloquist, if you will.
Right.
But she's doing it.
yes.
What's her name? Where does she perform?
I forgot her name. I haven't seen her perform,
Well,
but they
okay.
you know, we could always do a search. And
And who
see
was
what-
the other guy that used to go? The guy that used to do
You
it
mean-
with the yes.
It's all right. It's all right.
Senor
Wences.
Senor Wences.
Senor Wences.
Another great left-hander out of the Dominican League, Senor Wences. Man, could that guy have a screwball back in there? Right, he played for the early Oakland Athletics.
See.
See, that was back in the day where you could just draw something on your hand and be a success. It takes so much more now.
You think?
No, it actually doesn't. If you've seen the YouTube stars, if you've seen Jake Paul, and they hand them $40 million for their hugging Tyson for 10 minutes.
I talked to someone today who was at that match,
And
and he was hanging out with Tyson's lawyers, supposedly. And he says that Tyson was holding back on punches.
of course, you could see the change from the first round, and they actually showed a clip, and I don't know, they're always looking for something where Paul whispered something into Mike's ear. And from that moment on, it was a lot of You could see Tyson, and he was biting his glove. He was doing
Yeah.
a little. It was like overly, because Mike, he doesn't want to seem, but he made it really overly obvious. What's the difference? You're just handing these guys tons of money. It's ridiculous.
A circus, is what that.
And the
was.
people are booing. What did they expect? Were they looking for like an Ali Frazier fight? I mean, you have a YouTube star fighting a 60-something-year-old guy. Like what? That's what you should have gotten. It's two guys bumbling around the ring.
They were expecting the Tyson of old.
No, they weren't. It was ridiculous. I wish he would beat him up because he's annoying.
Which one?
Jake Paul.
Oh God, yeah. I don't understand what made him famous. He's just a YouTube star. Like what does he do on YouTube that made him? Him and his brother, right? They do stupid things.
Yes.
I don't get it. I got to get on YouTube. How do you do that? Where do you get YouTube?
Well, you're on it right now.
Oh, fantastic.
Do
I got to
some
get something
things.
better. This is not working. 8 years of the Steve Square Show. I still haven't taken off yet. I want Tyson to punch me in the face for $40 million. I'll take Tony to punch me in for half of that.
Hey, that's what fighters did for most of the 80s.
Right. That's basically what they did. Yeah, I'll sign. I'll take one punch from Tyson. Hopefully I'll come out of my coma to spend it. Just have a brain surgeon there when I come to.
They should do a whole story on all the,
Spinks, he took a dive right in that first round when he took one right in the coconut. Boom. But hey, give it to what's his face that took him down in Buster Douglas.
Yes,
he fought hard.
James Buster Douglas.
Yes. The best fight I ever saw was when George Foreman fought Michael Moore and knocked him out. He was like, what was George, about 72? Yeah. And he knocked him out, won the heavyweight title. He was like 600 pounds. What was he not? He couldn't sell any more. Did you ever have a Foreman grill? Those things were great.
I did. It was good.
Good for college.
They were good anytime.
Anytime, right? Did you have a lot of those grilled cheese sandwich maker? Like, I feel like that time there was a lot of those gadgets.
There
like
were a lot
grilled cheese makers.
There were a lot of those.
Pressers.
That was before the Foreman grill. Yeah, that was a
you know
big
what I'm
thing.
talking about. The grilled
in dorms.
All things were
because back then,
a lot of that.
You would do that but now
those times are gone. Now here's something interesting. I had talked about Listeria with Boar's Head.
Right. Oh, you talked to Boar's Head about Listeria?
Well, I talked to our audience about that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really talk about.
You made it sound like you were.
No, I didn't.
You had a.
I didn't put. I put a call into Boar's Head.
Yeah. Because they take your call.
Do they? This is Boar's Head, first time call.
Mr. Head. We have Funny Man Stevie K. Get him on. Put him on right now.
I want to know what liverwurst is. That's what my question would be. If I had one question to ask Boar's Head. And I know you explained it to me, but it's still not clear to me what
it's liver.
Worst.
It's the worst.
It's the worst of the liver. It's not the good part of the liver. So you had the Listeria breakout. Then you had a carrot and cucumber recall from E. coli. E. coli. Now it seems it is infiltrated our milk supply. The bird flu is back.
The bird flu, yes. They're testing.
Now, didn't he pitch for the Tigers? Who was the bird flu guy? Or am I
bird flu guy? You mean Mark the Bird Fidridge? Is that what you're talking about?
That's who
yes.
He didn't have the bird flu. He was the pitcher, right?
He was just, they called him the Bird. Big Bird.
Big Bird.
Yeah.
He looked a little Big Birdish, right?
There's actually pictures somewhere of him and Big Bird together. They did.
Oh, of course. Good promo. So, are you guys milk drinkers at all?
Not me.
Milk drinkers? Not really.
No?
I'll put it in my coffee or tea.
Straight milk or half and half?
Yeah, I'll do straight milk.
Straight milk.
Usually, milk 2% or whole milk. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are fine, and I don't go near milk. Nationwide testing of milk ordered immediately for bird flu. This is all milk. It says the U.S. government on Friday ordered massive testing for bird flu on all milk. Now, on milk supply. It seems that the spread of the virus has gotten into cows.
Cows?
It says raw or unpasteurized milk.
But didn't it start there?
Where?
It's cows. They have milk, so it started with the. What do you mean? It's getting into cows? Like they already have.
No,
I was just being stupid.
No, I know I misspoke. Yeah. Well, I thought milk was given. I thought cows drank milk, and then you milk them.
Right.
Where does milk come from? A cow, right?
No,
And where does chocolate milk come from?
I don't know, Steve. Why don't you tell me where the chocolate milk comes from?
It also comes from, well, it comes from cows, and then you add chocolate syrup or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I used to love that as a kid. Remember in elementary school, you'd get milk or chocolate milk.
Right.
Were you a milk or chocolate milk as a kid? Like, which carton did you take?
I would mostly white milk, but sometimes I get chocolate milk.
It's odd that you said white milk.
I,
Just milk.
well, just milk.
Just milk. Yeah, I like chocolate milk. I think I liked. I don't know. Milk never.
Back in the days where
said-
sugar was.
Oh, I didn't
You
care.
had no abandon.
Nothing. Just reckless. When I was a kid, I wasn't thinking about abs as a sixth grader. As a third grader,
You were.
I
Tell me
probably
about
was.
those days when you had chocolate milk. Is that
Oh,
when you had
those-
open
Oh,
sores and
those were the
boils?
days.
And
Boils. I was crazed. I tried to kill my brother with an axe. And it was all due to sugar. I met this man. It was a man in a robe. And he talked to me. It was
A man in a robe.
It was odd, but I always trust men in robes that are lurking
kinda
in hallways.
strange, yeah.
And he told me, the sugar's killing you. It's destroying you, for God's sake. And he's right, because milk
and-
has bird flu.
So he told you to eat right. Did he give you ointments or anything?
No.
Or lotions?
No lotions, no ointments.
Okay.
Now, this I thought you might like. Look at what they're serving at the UBS or near. It says near. This is on the menu near UBS Arena, or what fans can expect right outside. Look at this sandwich. What do you think of that sandwich? That's a nice sandwich.
get a
I'll
look
put
at-
that up there.
can I get a look at
Wanna
that
see that,
sandwich?
Steve?
Come back. Yeah, right there.
There we go. What do you think of that size? That's a meat sandwich right there. That's overstuffed. They call it
What do they call that?
overstuffed. Oh, I don't know what they call it. Let me say.
So you have big pictures, but you're not telling.
Well, it says here it's called a muffaletta sandwich at tenfold. I can't even pronounce any of this. Look, can you read that sentence to me? Tell me. You try to read that sentence.
It's a
I don't get
caption.
paid enough to read that caption.
Caption.
It's
so-
not a sentence. It's a caption.
a muffuletta sandwich at Tenfold Bulgenet, a kiosk now open with a taste of what Hunderfold will bring to Belmont Park Village.
That's a rough caption right
Okay,
there.
Hunderfold is this fancy like high end mall that they've put into the Belmont
Around the arena.
and that development.
So it says
And it's a high end like Gucci and
Okay.
you know, it's like a very high end mall. It's gonna makes Roosevelt Field look like Tri-County.
So it's got Pret a Manger is going to be there.
There you go.
Those are those grab and go sandwiches you see
Places
in the
where
city.
the beautiful people go. Exactly.
Streetside Cafe is a kiosk. They have boba drinks, including fruit tea.
You know, I know you do. You have fond memories of the kiosk.
Of which kiosk?
Well,
The one I worked at.
you had a job one time when you were
Sure.
at the gym when they made you sit at the kiosk.
Yeah, our gym thought it was a great idea to open up a kiosk in a mall. So they made me go there on Saturday mornings and sit there and tell people about exercise.
And so one day I walked there looking for Steve, and there he is.
Not it out. It
Not
was
at
terrible.
all.
They would have a video just replaying
Steve!
people doing jumping jacks and exciting things, and I had to sit there and try to sell. They wanted me not only to tell people, but sell memberships in a mall. Who's going to a mall? You don't even sight unseen. You're going to join a gym? It's ridiculous.
Well, you were always the big you were the big seller though. You know, you
No,
had a good.
but if you have nothing to sell, if you're just sitting there going, you join a gym, it's ridiculous.
You know, I was suckered. I mean, I bought a membership from you.
I love the way you said suckered.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I said,
Did you hear him say suckered? He came out with suck. He stopped himself at suck. He might not have used the past tense, but you let it know.
Tony, I saved the contract. It was so funny. I found it one day. I was looking through my paperwork. I said, "Steve, is this?"
Did you ever pay off that contract?
Oh,
They'll come after you, even though they don't even exist as a company. Somebody will call you.
wow.
They'll call you. Now, I found out the reason why this show is as bad as it is. I had a lot of ideas and theories, but I finally put my finger on it. There's a great show here. This is why we're not successful and they are. Menopause, the podcast. This is three
It's
women.
a bit edgy, isn't it?
Three Long Island women. They sit together. One's on this side, one's on that, and one's in the middle, very Long Island. It says Sharon Grasso, Ingrid Dodd, and Dana Persico. They film their own podcast, and it's called Rebranding Menopause. So they tell you all the in and outs and what you can expect from menopause. Now, you see, that's the problem. We can't speak about menopause. Up until yesterday, I thought menopause was a button on my VCR. Let me be in the giggle room, please. Let me be.
And that's why the show's so bad.
That's Tony finally put his finger on it.
That says everything.
You know what? Somebody put a mute button on Tony's mic. Tony, mute yourself. Nobody asked your opinion.
That explains everything.
Both of you, go to hell. I'll do the show myself. What? I'm renaming the show. Forget Steve Squared.
I know.
Steve.
I know.
What? You're very.
Governor's Comedy Club presents live from the Chuckle Room.
Giggle room. Is there a chuckle room?
No. Direct from the Chuckle Patch. Funny Man, Steve VK.
Hey! Hey, how are you? How's everybody? I'll tell you, I've been in a chuckle patch once or twice in my time. Thank you.
Everyone got a $5. You got a $5 bill? Can I just see that for a minute? Look at this guy.
Let me tell you something about the chuckle patch. Boy, I had to use my. I'll tell you, the chuckle patch was so heavy. I had my weed whacker couldn't even get through it. Ladies and gentlemen, please tip your waiters. They work hard. Give the lamb chops are delicious tonight. Anyway, Judy Garland's ruby slippers.
Yes.
Let's talk about something people care about. Judy Garland's ruby slippers. Look what Tony. Do you believe this? Look what they sold for.
Holy moly!
Let me see.
That's more than Soto's getting.
I think Soto bought them.
That was his first purchase. Getting ruby slippers. Wow. $28 million for Judy Garland's ruby slippers. It said they thought it was only going to go for $3 million. They said it would fetch $3 million, but the bidding got out of hand.
Oh.
It said, including the Dallas-based auction house fee, the unknown buyer will ultimately pay $32 million for these slippers. Now, this has got to be a weirdo that's going to walk around his house in them and go, I want to go home.
There's no place like home.
No place like
There's
home.
no place like
There's
home.
no place like home.
I was just watching a sketch. I forgot what show it was from. Could have been Mad TV.
Do you know any of those people on that menopause?
I thought
Did the names ring a bell?
I thought I did, but now I'm not sure. That's why I was reading it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tony.
Sorry.
Keep reading. Go ahead, Steve.
That they did this whole, they recreated the Wizard of Oz scene when, you always have to tap your heels and say, there's no place like home. You could have always gone back home, Glinda the Good Witch says.
Right.
And Dorothy says, what? You people.
Where is this?
Well, I don't know. It was some clip. It might have been Mad TV.
Oh, okay.
It was.
Is Mad TV's not on anymore?
No, but they're all the clips are all up on there.
Oh, yeah.
Are you telling me after all I've been through, I could have just gone home anytime I wanted? You didn't tell me.
Go home. They've been showing it, obviously, because Wicked's on. The original Wizard of Oz has been all over HBO, and it was on TBS the other night. And, I was just watching, and it was very interesting to see that, Judy Garland. But she didn't really do anything big after that. I mean, she was a singer, obviously. She sang and had
had some big moments. A Star is Born was unbelievable.
That's true. Yes.
Big comeback. But yeah,
sometimes when you max out,
it was rough. But she did have she started performing on stage again.
Yeah.
She sold out the Palace Theater.
Now, would you
say
who would you say was bigger? Her, or do you think Liza Minnelli had a better career? But Judy Garland's always going to be known for Wizard of Oz, and that's a forever movie. There's no forever movie for Liza Minnelli, but I'm just talking career-wise, like a span of a career, not the one iconic movie.
Tony, I would say Judy Garland, because there was a lot more people watched Judy Garland movies, and Liza Minnelli did some movies, did good,
right.
But it was nothing.
Well, her more thing was Broadway
also.
Yeah.
She had a longer.
That's what I mean.
Lifespan.
She definitely had a longer lifespan.
Career.
Yeah, she had a long career.
Yeah, but Judy is more of the legend. Yeah.
Right, Judy Garland's the name. But it's hard to live up to your mother, who's Judy
She's-
Garland, and she did a pretty good job.
She did a good job.
That's what I mean.
Exactly.
That's hard to be in the shadow and kind of
she was
break
very
out your
similar
own.
to her mother because she got sick a lot, and she
Yeah.
also had addiction problems as well.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what the funny thing about it? You should watch all the old clips when Judy Garland was on talk shows. There's a lot of Tonight shows with Jack Parr. You look at those; they're
Sorry.
they're hysterical because she tells these stories, and she's it's like no holds barred. You know,
Right,
she's
yeah.
just she starts telling this story about Marlena Dietrich that's absolutely hysterical.
I've been watching some of those
And
old.
she's like saying, "Oh, we got to listen to another one of her records again."
Now I gotta ask Steve this because he might know this. I watched the 1932 movie, 1932.
1932.
Yeah, my mom had it on. The Grand Hotel.
Okay, I know of it.
The Barrymore brothers, both Lionel and John.
Uh huh.
It was Joan Crawford, early Joan Crawford.
Yes.
And the one with
when
the
she looked like a flapper.
and the one with
She
the
looked-
was it Marla Dietrich or the one with the accent, the Swedish
Greta Garbo.
Greta Garbo.
Yes.
What a cast! It was a good movie, actually. It was actually and a lot of character actors that you would know.
You know what's still amazing though now because
But that was good. I mean, that was 1932, and it was good.
you know
I mean,
what,
it was
do you know
pretty
what's
good.
amazing about these films? Because when we were growing up, I don't know about you, Steve, or maybe Tony, before cable, and you would see the condition all these films were in when they showed them on Channel 11 or Channel 5.
Oh, yeah.
They were a mess. I mean, all these rips in it and edits, and it just looked terrible. And just, it's incredible. You watch like TCM and see all these films, how they've been restored.
Unbelievable.
And you just see like a Charlie Chaplin film, and it's beautiful. The pictures, it never looked like that. When,
So did
you know,
did Ted Turner start doing all that?
he was one of the people he was probably the person that first started putting money into restoring films.
his I don't know if you saw it. His story or is it
Yes,
on Netflix?
I did see.
Or is it
I saw a
Amazon?
lot of it. I think it was Netflix.
The gyms I trained
Yes.
wanted me. He saw the Martha Stewart on Netflix, the biopic.
Right.
He knows I like biopics. He said I would love that. Now I'm not a fan of Martha Stewart. Let me tell
Really?
you. Yeah, she rubs me the wrong way. Now, but
Do you
I'm
think she
interested.
deserved to go to jail for what she did?
I don't even know what she did. I know it was some kind of stock. Something.
She did what any other man would do, honestly. And don't exactly call myself a feminist, but I am a fair human being.
You are. If you're a fan,
I think
you're a fair
I
human
think
being.
she did what most men in business have done all the time, but they threw her in jail because she was a B. I won't say the word because because people think she was a
very Leona Helmsley
because
like.
yes, they think she was a B. But look, she's friends with Snoop Dogg, so come on,
There's nothing wrong with that.
exactly.
If you're friends with the Snoop, now
he's giving cred to her.
this is what I also saw. I saw this. Let me see what movie I saw, and I don't know if either one of you. Speaking of these movies, I watched the Reagan movie.
Oh, really?
Did you see it yet?
I have not.
It's.
I saw it.
What'd you think of it?
I liked. To me, it was a little Hallmarkish movie of the week.
Yeah.
But I did like how they stressed the fact that back then Republicans and Democrats could have respectful conversations.
Yeah.
They absolutely did, and
Yes.
even back then, this isn't something that was made up. I mean, Tip O'Neill and Reagan would have a beer at the end of the day.
And that was a big chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they made a point to
Yeah.
remind us of that, which
Yeah.
I liked.
I think the one thing that was a little bothersome for me, and I don't know if I love Dennis Quaid as Reagan.
I
thought
went
the
back
ca-
and forth a
Yeah,
little.
I thought
He
the
was-
cast.
yeah.
The second part of the movie was better.
Yes.
The opening was a little clunky and it got a little long. I am a big fan of Penelope Ann Cruz, but also her. They're 20 years apart in age. Was a weird. And they had, I forget her, I can't say her name, Mina Sorvey. She's
yeah.
from
American Beauty.
She's from American Beauty, American Pie movies.
Right.
Right.
She was playing Jane Wyman, his first wife.
Wow.
I mean, they're 40 years apart in age. Like, it was a little weird. But whatever, it was a small part of the movie. It was like
Right.
a minute of the movie. But I feel like Tony, it had moments and it showed some stuff, but it did feel a little B-rated in its...
B-movie,
it didn't feel like
like-
a theater movie, like you'd go to the movies.
Yes.
That looked like a made-for-TV-ish. Mm-hmm. And now this leads to my question.
Yes.
Dennis Quaid played
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan. You know, he did a lot of that.
Well,
well, Nancy. Well, there was a lot of wells.
Well,
Well, and I just saw a movie that he played in, where he played Bill Clinton. Mm-hmm. So I was curious, and this I don't know the answer to, so you might have to look this up.
okay.
What actor has played the most presidents on TV or film? Who has portrayed the most presidents?
I will take a
guess on this.
Take a
Steve.
whack
I feel
at
like
it.
you would know this.
I'll say Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen, West Wing.
West Wing. He's played Kennedy a few times.
Well, but again, I'm not talking about a fictional
I
president.
meant that's what I meant.
Yeah,
He's
like
played-
real, like right, like
yes.
yeah.
I don't. I'm thinking William Devane.
He did a lot of Kennedy parts.
Yeah.
But I mean, different presidents,
played-
not just one.
Not just one in a bunch
In
of movies, but
right?
but more than one
like
president.
Reagan.
All right.
Look at
Clinton,
all the
this.
people that played presidents. Barry Bostwick. Well, he was George Washington.
Look it up, because I don't know the answer. Can you look it up, or you can ask? Or what do you think? It's a Siri question or a Google question?
I don't know. Siri would not get it.
It's a little complicated for Siri.
Siri is stupid.
Wow.
All right, we have not gotten the correct answer. Because I just looked it up.
Okay.
We have not gotten it. So you let me know when you want me to tell you.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
Did I see that name? I can't believe I just saw. And was that right?
Could it be William Daniels?
No.
Okay.
This can't be right.
Played Richard Nixon, played Ulysses S. Grant, and played Ronald Reagan.
Rip Torn?
Rip Torn.
How'd you know?
Yep.
Because I knew he played Nixon.
So he played 3,
Yeah.
and that was the most, I guess, of
From
different
what
presidents.
from what it looks
how
like,
we
yeah.
asked that question.
Yeah.
Well, Dennis Quaid played 2 right there, and he didn't do another one, like a third, because he did Clinton and Reagan. And he didn't do a third. No. Interesting.
Period pieces aren't that big a deal.
I think a lot of people portray George Washington. You would have been a good George Washington. I can see you as George Washington. Without, yeah, if you
That guy got wooden teeth.
do that, you go over to my dentist. They'll fix you up.
And then,
Smash out your teeth and give you.
but now you also have presidents who have appeared on TV and movies themselves.
As themselves. And do you have a
Donald
number
Trump.
one?
Donald Trump is number one.
Is number one, right?
Yeah.
Before he was a president. Though.
Yeah, because he was in the movie I was in. We were in the same movie.
Celebrity.
I was an extra.
You're in Celebrity?
Well, let's calm down. I was an extra bartender that I don't even think I think my scene was cut. But yes, Leonardo DiCaprio. But I met Woody Allen.
Woody looked at him and he
Asked
nodded
me
his
as the
head.
bartender.
Nice.
Yes, I was the bartender in the prom scene, or when Kenneth Branagh, I believe, was playing the Woody Allen character, and he was reminiscing back to his prom day, and in that scene, yeah. But Donald Trump is in the scene with a first-time actress who did her first role. Now let's see if you know who that is. It was her first appearance. She had a line and asked him how to say the word because it was related to real estate. She said, "I didn't know how to say the word, so I asked him," because he was sitting at the table next to her. It was a
Marissa Tomei?
Nope.
Mira Sorvino?
No, it was and speaking of West Wing, the press secretary.
Oh, AJ. Hanley.
Allison Janney.
Allison Janney.
Right.
Yes.
So that was her first movie.
Oh, wow.
So she was, and she always tells that story. She goes, she had to say it was a real estate term, and she goes, I didn't know how to pronounce it. And I was scared. She goes, and he was sitting next to her, and so she asked him. She goes, what is this? She had like a line in the movie. That was a crazy movie for Leo.
Yes. Speaking of Woody, a great writer died.
Oh,
Marshall Brickman. You may not know
I
him.
don't know.
Well, he co-wrote Annie Hall
Okay.
and Sleeper and Manhattan and the Manhattan Murder.
So obviously with
Murder
Woody,
Mystery.
a lot with
He
Woody.
did a lot with Woody. He was a Johnny Carson's head writer for about 2 years.
Wow.
He created Karnak.
Oh wow.
And he wrote a lot of the jokes while he was writing for Carson. And that was back in New York. And then he went to work for Dick Cavett because he was good friends with Dick Cavett, which is probably how he met Woody. And, by the way, if all that wasn't so crazy, he played the banjo. And he was in like a folk band before he just decided to become a writer or a comedy writer. He was in a folk band, played banjo, and played on this album. I forgot the guy's name and the group's name, whatever. But the music, they used that in Deliverance. So he is actually like the second banjo
Wow.
on Dueling Banjos, a hit song.
That's
when
I'll have to look. What was his name?
Marshall Brickman.
Marshall Brickman.
And he was interviewed on a podcast that was really good. He told great stories.
Marshall Brickman. I'll look him up. Now, speaking of, you're mentioning him because he just passed away?
Yeah.
So that's not good that he passed away, but it's a tie-in to what I was just going to say. Sure. We said Martha, and we were talking about people. They're recognizable with one name, right? Martha, we think Martha Stewart. Right, you think Martha Stewart. You don't think Martha Washington.
No.
Right, you think Martha Stewart. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe back in the day when you said Martha, you thought Martha Washington.
Martha Ray.
Or, well, I don't know if you think Martha
The Ray. Big Mouth.
The Big Mouth. But...
Denture wearer.
Yeah, that's
true. Or as David Letterman called her, Martha Ray, condom user.
Oh, God.
And she sued. And she lost the suit. Judge threw it out of court.
So there was another...
It's a joke, lady.
Yeah. There was another passing away, Louis Carnesecca, known as Louis.
Yes.
You know Louis.
And I met Louis.
You met Louis Carnesecca?
I have pictures at home with my dad, my real dad, not my stepdad.
Uh-huh.
Because Lou would do like the PBC, now the PAL, like basketball
camps and things.
Basketball award dinners. I met him when I was a kid. Absolutely the nicest guy in the world.
God, yeah.
Really, a good guy.
I had the pleasure once of meeting him myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice man. Very nice.
Him?
My father-in-law had some surgery done, and they were right next to each other in post-op. This is probably 20 years ago, at least.
Right.
Actually, might have been more. I don't know what Carnesecca was in for.
But you went in to visit?
I went to sit with my father-in-law, and there was I don't think my father, because I recognized him.
Oh, you could recognize
Oh,
him.
yeah. Again, this is 20 years ago, so he was still, I saw pictures towards the end. He was looking kind of rough, unfortunately.
Oh, he's 99.
Right.
Yeah.
But 20 years ago, he still looked good for his age and whatnot. So, so I recognized him immediately, and I didn't talk to him too much because, he's in the hospital.
Right.
But he, we talked for maybe 5-10 minutes. I don't even remember what we talked about, but very nice man.
Yeah.
I remember being impressed with how nice he was.
You know where those PBC dinners used to be, basketball dinners were, Steve?
I want to... where? I probably will know when you
I'll
say.
just tell you. Olsen's Inn.
Wow.
The old Olsen's Inn.
That name is like, for Massapequa, it's like saying the Bates Motel. That's tantamount to saying the Bates Motel. Is, you check in, but you don't check out.
Yeah, it's closed down. The county
I bet they
shut
did.
That place down.
They had the nerve to have children's banquets there. That is the seediest place. Ugh. Wow.
My stepfather would drive me.
That's Pottersville there.
My stepfather would drive me to school when I went to high school. And
that's gross.
They had a sign up as they're going by there. And it said, "Welcome, teachers."
Oh, my God.
What was going on at Olsen's Inn back then? Welcome, teachers, right?
Welcome, teachers. Now, I had a new segment I wanted to try out on you.
Oh.
2 new segments. One, I'll say first, if it bothers you, it bothers me.
If this works, you can do it in the in the
because
giggle room.
I'm very upset with the menopause women. So I've been.
What is it about the menopause women? What gets your goat about
I don't
them?
like that they're making money on something like that. That's just like.
What are they making money on?
I don't know. I don't know if they're making money.
What are they making? What exactly? Well, let's assume that they are making money.
Okay.
What is it that upsets you that they're making that?
Well, I mean, so let's take something that guys have. What do we have? What's something that men have that's a problem? Let's talk about extreme urination. Uncontrollable diarrhea.
Extreme urination.
I don't know. First of all, I saw them at the Madison Square Garden back in the early 80s. Extreme urination. Man, what a show. That was one of the greatest shows ever. That's when you could get tickets to something.
CBGBs.
CBGBs.
Yes.
You remember extreme urination?
Yeah, now you do.
Yeah, man, what a
They're
group.
right there with explosive diarrhea.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
They
those
opened
are
up
good.
for them.
They were great.
If it bothers you, and now you have to say it. Let me say it the way. Do you have some intro music for that, Tony? Something to bring into
Some
my new
angry
set? Yeah,
music.
something. Yeah, give me something. Maybe a thunder cloud or something.
What?
I don't know.
Hang on.
I'm hanging. Anything
This is a little
ominous.
depressing.
That's okay. I'll take that.
All right, let me keep looking.
All right, you keep looking.
I'm gonna let that play while I keep.
All right, you let that play while it keeps looking.
This-
If it bothers you, it bothers me.
Oh.
What do you think? I'll say it like that.
Okay, what?
Oh, I thought Tony I was waiting for something.
Oh, I'm still.
Forget it. It's all right. We got it. We got
If
the
it
gist.
bothers you, how do you know it bothers me?
Oh, wow. That's like...
If it bothers you, it bothers me. I don't know. How do I know it bothers me? Tell me what it is.
My point is, if it it's what it's saying is I have the pulse of the people. I understand. So if it bothers
Do you really?
of course I do. I'm part of the, I'm like the common man. Just because of the position I'm in doesn't mean I can't relate to the commoner. So
I don't know you or anything but common.
if it bothers you, it bothers me. And now, so if this is what bothers, this is what I feel should bother everybody. I'm in the store, okay, and it says pitted olives. So I'm very confused. Does that mean the pit's in it or out of it? It's pitted olives.
Well, when you pit it, it's the pits are out.
So it's pitted. You would think, and that's correct, because you wouldn't say pitless olives. That sounds gross. It's pitted. They've been pitted.
Someone told me I was pitless one time and I decked them.
Good for you. You're anything but pitless. So pitted, you're correct. The pits are removed. Now I walk over to the bread aisle, you see, and it says seeded rye.
You would never go to the bread aisle.
Well,
you won't
I-
eat bread. That's your poison.
Stay with the point of the joke.
sorry.
So I go to this bread aisle, and it says seeded rye. You see, and
It has seeds on it, right?
it does. So it's a homonym. It's a homily. It's not a homily. It's what do they call?
A homily.
It's not a homily. It's an oxymoron. It's not an oxymoron. What would you call that?
A riddle.
It's a riddle.
Wrapped inside.
Wrapped inside of a. That's a whatchamacallit.
Wrapped inside of a riddle.
It's a whatchamacallit. How's it
Yes.
delicious at Halloween time? Anyway, so the rye is seeded, which means the seeds haven't been removed. It's been added to the dough, seeded rye.
Of course.
If you want it without the seeds, it's seedless. It's a seedless rye.
Of course.
So that's very confusing for me in a supermarket. And I had problems, so I went up and spoke to the manager. I took both things to the manager. I said, what's going on here? If it bothers you, it bothers me. And that was really all I had for that segment. I didn't have much. And the other segment I was trying out was lefty talk. I feel like there's not enough love given to lefties. I feel like we're in a righties world. Don't you? You're a lefty.
Yeah, I'm a lefty.
You're a lefty. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we have to exist in a. Remember when you grew up, you had to use weird scissors.
And you remember, yes.
Weird.
And then when you
and then
write,
the ink,
and when you write, the ink is always on your hand.
I used to come home from school. My mom said, "What were you doing? Did your pen explode?" I said, "Mom, you don't understand what I'm going through. I write with the wrong
I
hand. The
still
teacher
go-
said you write with the wrong hand."
Wow.
She never said.
My kindergarten teacher told
I just like to. I want somebody to pity me.
my kindergarten teacher told my parents that if they wanted, she would
Chop off your.
teach me to write with my right hand.
Wow.
And my parents said, "No, it's all right."
They used to say back in the dark
Yes.
ages they would do that.
They would
tie
do that.
your
when you
hand.
would- yes, exactly.
You know, you're lucky if they tied your hand.
I don't think
hacking it off.
Miss Walensky was very sweet. I don't think she would do it
She's a
that way.
no,
She wouldn't have done it
wonderful
that way.
woman. Wonderful. She was.
She was very
a
sweet.
saint.
She was.
Who was she?
She's my kindergarten teacher.
Did you go to a regular school or a?
I went to a regular public school.
Not a what's the other one? Like a Catholic school or a?
I didn't go to parochial school,
parochial
or
school.
private school. No.
No, not like
Public school.
St. Mary's, Our Lady of the Worthless Miracle, nothing like that.
Oh wow, yeah. You're going to hell.
Thank you. I've been there. It ain't nice.
I've been there with you at times.
You have been there with me. Speaking of hell,
It's frightened me.
speaking of hell, let's look at this. This is pretty good. I watched again for the 400th time. It was on. I want, you know me. It's a Wonderful Life. I've been in it
It's
the
on
radio,
again?
I've been in the
It
radio
hasn't been-
version.
Yes,
On stage
I
radio.
Know, I
We
know
did
it
the
has.
play. I was
know.
George Bailey.
You were
Mary, I don't understand, Mary. So it
That's a nice lisp you got there when you do George Bailey.
Oh, you see, Johnny. I love when he's on Johnny. He goes, you know, Johnny, I talk very slow. So it says here there was a lot of crime committed in this movie.
Right.
If you really went through the movie.
Oh, Pottersville.
Well, here's the first one. George commits a Class C felony when he assaults a police officer. Remember when the officer, Bert and Ernie, are grabbing him?
Yes.
And he punches him. He punched the police officer. So under the penal code...
It was a dream sequence, though.
Still counts in court. New York Penal Law 205.3, George could be arrested for that. Let's move on. Mr. Gower. Old Mr. Gower.
Oh, that old drunk.
Now, he did a lot of things. Working while drunk, filling pharmaceutical drugs for children.
He almost killed a kid.
He almost killed a kid. It says, while drunk, he says here he commits several crimes, including public intoxication and manslaughter. While drunk, Mr. Gower fills a prescription with poison pills, which, would have been fatal if not for the savior of George Bailey. Mr. Gower also beats the 12-year-old.
Yes.
In the store.
My God, did you see that? That was...
Please don't slap my pad here. Oh, George. Now you have Old Man Potter.
Oh,
The great Lionel Barrymore. Potter commits... Now, who had a better career? Would you say Lionel Barrymore or Drew Barrymore? Gotta go with Drew.
Yeah, Drew, but I mean...
I know they're a name. It's the whole family
It's
name.
the name and everything like that. And
But
come
come
on, have you
on.
seen the talk show?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't watch a minute of that.
She is, and you know, and I like Drew Barrymore. I
that's
absolutely can't
too
stand her in
cheesy.
that show.
No, it's really...
That is so wonderful.
Yes, everything is. And I love the way she sits barefoot, with her feet up on the couch, because that's the
Here
way
she is in the
common
middle of
people sit.
Midtown Manhattan in her bare feet. I mean, of course, that's real
That's what
life.
you do. So here, Old Man Potter commits larceny by keeping the $8,000.
Yes, exactly.
But that's questionable. It was handed to him, in a sense, by the moronic Uncle Billy. Everybody's got an Uncle
Now,
Billy.
does Uncle Billy get any?
Well, wait a minute. There's
Uncle
gotta
Billy.
be- yeah, there's a lot. Wait.
Nothing on Uncle Billy, right?
There's got to be. No, there's also... hold on a second.
What about Alfalfa opening the pool?
Oh, that creep.
That's true. Now, this is also one. There was a little sexual harassment in the workplace. You remember when George's brother slaps Annie on the butt? When he goes, Annie, my dear, I love you. And he grabs her and he hits her in the butt.
Oh, you know.
That's
All
worse.
back in those days, all bets were off.
Okay.
And, of course,
It says, I'm trying to see if there was any...
And George, of course, was harassing Mary, the old maid.
The old
You're
maid.
not going to like it, George. She's an old maid. She works as a librarian. A librarian.
It's always... Yeah, that's the...
Oh, my God.
That was
the
the
worst
that's
thing
the
a
worst
wo-
you could be.
The worst thing a woman could be.
A librarian.
Oh,
And they walk
librarian.
spinster like that. You'd see her, she was walking
With
with,
the
the hair
glasses.
and the hair in the bun. The
Mary,
bun.
Mary.
Mary, don't you know me? It's George. I don't know you. I liked Violet Biggs. Oh,
That's Charlotte.
played by the wonderfully great.
I forgot her name.
Oh, Gloria Graham.
No, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
should know that. I'm
Oh,
so
you
sorry.
should. The wonderful Gloria Graham.
Yes.
Was she related to Heather Graham? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Now, who
Wow.
had a better career?
Now, seriously, when's the last time you've seen Heather Graham?
No, I know. And I was a big fan. I am a big fan of her.
Roller Girl.
Roller Girl. They actually raided hospitals here. The grade report came out.
Is that so?
So ask me a hospital. I'll tell you. Well, let's do it like this because I don't want to make people feel bad. I'll just say this. Do you know which on Long Island came in last? Didn't get a good grade. Failed the exam.
From experience,
Or just in.
I will say Good Sam in West Islip got a bad rating.
That's pretty amazing because why is that? Good Sam didn't get the work. It did. It went from in the spring of this year had a D, but it did raise its grade. It got up to a C.
Let me tell
They
you.
murdered less people.
My dad was in Good Sam.
Really?
It was horrible.
but I thought they were supposed to be such a.
I know it's part of Catholic health, but yeah, they were just. It was just
Really?
horrendous. It was a nightmare. Couldn't wait to get out of there.
Oh my God! The other worst one on Long Island, and they're right down the road. Nassau Medical Center.
Well, that's a big problem.
Nassau Medical
That
Center.
for years has been
Nassau
a big problem.
and I love the way they say Nassau University Medical Center, trying to make it sound better than it is. First of all, you're going in there, you're usually a gunshot victim, a knife wound. That's a Saturday night special right there. That's going on there.
Yeah, or people who can't afford help.
Why they do freebies there?
Well, yeah, it's just they'll take people in that some hospitals won't because
Let's see who's the best. Syosset Hospital got an A.
Yeah, I believe that.
So I've been there.
You've been everywhere.
I filleted a finger with a piece of chicken, so I went to one day and I went
that
to.
sounds
Yeah, I
delicious.
had to go to.
sounds
Trust me, it was.
That should be on Top Chef.
And I had my finger up in the air for an hour at work, and they said, "Oh, I guess you should go to the hospital."
You did that
now."
at work?
Yes.
And you tried to stay work? You're a hero.
No, I was in the back. I'm gonna, try it wouldn't stop bleeding,
Oh my God.
and they weren't gonna do anything. They said, and then the manager goes, "Oh, I guess you should go to the hospital."
It was.
I won't mention the place. I would never do that.
Why not?
It's not where I work now, so.
There's a holiday movie. I don't know if you
It's not.
saw this. It's called Sugar Plumbed. Sugar Plumbed.
You were in that, weren't you?
I was in Sugar Plumbed.
1978,
Yeah,
right?
it was.
Yeah.
I went under a different name, but I co-starred in Sugar Plumbed.
Did you get sugar plumbed?
I did the sugar plumbing. Yeah. I
Wow,
was,
look at
yeah,
you.
in the land of fairies.
HVC?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was an accomplished theater actor back in the day. It says here, it's a Hallmark movie. When Emily, Maggie Lawson, they might want to rethink this title. I love Hallmark movies. When Emily wishes for a perfect Christmas, like the ones found in the popular Sugar Plum movies, she's shocked when Sugar Plum
popular
herself
Sugar
appears
Plum?
to help her fulfill it. I don't even understand any of that. That's a bad tagline right there. That's a bad log line. Oh, A Christmas Story's on this week, Steve, with Peter Billingsley. Did you ever see that movie?
Of course.
Or you could see. Now I don't know if this is live. Probably not, right? The Whitney Houston concert for New South Africa. That's not. That's 94.
I'll take this from a meme I got. Hallmark researchers say they are close to developing a second movie plot
What does that mean?
because the Hallmark movies.
Oh, you mean just something? That's very funny. That's very
They're
funny.
close to developing.
I like that they stick with what works. Stick with cheese. It says here people, Long Islanders are gathering at the Big Duck. Where is the Big Duck? It says from Flanders. What's Flanders?
Out east.
That's a town.
Flanders is a town on Long Island?
Yeah.
Where?
You never saw the Big Duck?
I've never been to the Big Duck. It shows here the
That's
Big.
the Big Duck. You've never heard. That is historic. That is a Long Island monument.
The Big Duck?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I'll have to see it. How far do I have to go to see this duck?
Southeast.
I don't. You say out east? Is that Montauk Point? I mean, to me, if I make a left on Hempstead Turnpike, that's out east.
Look, we could go. Look, we'll go to CPI. We'll go to Neptune's, and we'll
Make
go
a day
see
of it.
Go see the duck.
Let's go see the duck.
Come on,
All right.
let's go.
It looks very huge. It looks like a big duck. It is huge.
It does look like it because it's shaped like a big duck too.
Is it still the voice of? Does you know who I'm talking about?
I didn't know the big duck talks.
Oh yeah.
I did not know this.
And it's got to be probably 25, 30 years ago. Christy Brinkley was the voice of the duck, and that's what I was asking if she still is. I don't know if she still is.
I did not know that. Wow. What do you think if a drunk Billy Joel crashed his motorcycle into the duck? what would the duck say?
A bottle of red, bottle of red.
Well, if it
It
was
all
Christy Brinkley
depends.
doing the
Oh,
voice.
uptown duck. She's been living in a muck. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this is. There's another series, but this doesn't look good. There's on Amazon Prime called Sticky. That's also another. It's
No,
called.
I know your films.
These are all my films are here. This is the Sticky. It's about a syrup company in Canada. Actually,
Connecticut?
some people pronounce it
Where's
Canada.
Connecticut?
Some people actually pronounce it as Canada. I pronounce it as Canada. Sorry about that. My tongue got tied.
You're an actor.
I was gonna say Canadian and Canada, and I got tongue
Call
tied.
yourself an actor.
That's a retake, Steve. You've never seen actors have outtakes? You never saw outtakes?
And you want to be the anchorman on
I can be the anchor
the
man.
Night of the Living Dead.
I don't care if it takes for the rest of my life. I will be the anchor man on. Oh no, I don't want to be the anchor man.
I know you don't.
Oh, you
That's
almost
what I always say.
Hey, you must know about this. This is a Beatles thing. Paul McCartney they're doing a coin for him in the UK.
I did not know that.
You heard about this?
Yes, I did.
They couldn't give him a whole pound. They have to just give him a coin. Right?
Coin lasts-
A coin is better than a paper money?
I
I
have
think,
no
I
idea.
think so. Paper is
Is it?
paper. Come on.
You'd rather be on a coin?
Yes.
So it says here, I don't know who these people are. Stephanie Morris. Is that right?
Who?
Rebecca Morgan. I don't know if they're
Who?
his. I don't know. It says here he's been honored with a specially minted British coin.
Oh, well, right then and there, Steve.
It's the Royal Mint.
The British.
Yeah, I have no interest
They
in
have
this.
ways.
It's
Their ways.
It says
don't
which has
they?
struck the coins of monarchs from Alfred the Great. I
That's
love how they
very-
make themselves the Great. What makes
It's
them?
very
good?
violent, though. They
And then
struck
nice.
the.
Yeah, to the King Charles III. So he gets a coin, and he's. What do you think? Ringo's a little offended.
I don't know.
Ringo, they named a fish and chips after.
Ringo,
Ringo got a fish
Ringo
and
lives mostly in L.A. most of the time,
So he doesn't warrant a
he's-
coin.
I don't think. I
A
think,
Ringo coin would be good,
who wouldn't want a Ringo coin?
right? I got a Ringo coin. They should have 4 Beatle coins, and they all worth different amounts, right? I think that would be something. You collect them, collect all 4. Be like a fish and chips thing. Blarney. Is that what they say, the English? Blarney. Fish and chips. Hello, mate.
Blarney.
Hello, mate.
He said, were you in Kentucky? Blarney.
Blarney.
Hey,
I feel like Colonel Sanders saying Blarney.
Foghorn Leghorn. The hell?
I love Foghorn.
Say what?
I'll say Blarney.
Stop reading them long-haired books.
Yeah. It doesn't say how much the coin will be worth,
Uh-huh.
but it's a coin. Now, Elton John is Sir Elton John.
Yes, he is.
So who carries more muster, would you say, in the royal monarch over there? Who's bigger? Who's Sir bigger? Because they're both Sir, right? He's Sir Elton.
Sir Elton and Sir Paul?
Right.
Well,
Who would you think? Who's bigger?
Well, I mean, it's just a figurehead position.
No,
It's just,
no. But I'm just saying, in terms of
well, I would have
British.
to say Paul McCartney, of course.
What would you say? Well, you guys are Beatle guys, but you being honest and trying to be
Well,
impartial.
without Paul McCartney, you don't have Elton John.
Right. And
So
he's a Beatle. I mean, is there any higher ranking?
if Paul McCartney is
In
not
the-
a Sir,
no,
then
I'm not.
Elton
No, they
John's
could be.
not a Sir.
Yeah, they could be. Now Elton's dealing with an eye issue.
he can't see.
He can't see.
had
That's a bad eye
some
issue.
sort of infection.
He got an infection and now he can't see in one eye. So here's my problem. He says he can't play.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
As a problem, if it bothers
We're
me,
going back to-
it bothers you. He should have a discussion with Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles. He's only one eye blind. Those guys never play. How does he not be able to play?
Elton John needs to do a little less.
You think it's a little?
He's had some real crappy, especially his last few albums. There's
yeah?
nothing memorable about them.
And actually, the Broadway show he wrote for got The Eyes of Tammy Faye just closed.
Yep.
Yeah, didn't it close like after a week
A
or
week.
something?
It was only
Yep.
open for a couple weeks. And but honestly, how could that seems like a moneymaker to me. That seems like that would just print money, that show. Who wouldn't want to see The
who
Eyes of
wouldn't wanna
Tammy
love
Faye
The
as a
Eyes of
musical?
Tammy Faye?
Oh, sure. And she was married to
Jim Baker.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy Don Baker.
Here's the gold coin.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. That's a nice coin.
It is nice.
Yeah, look at your monitors there.
Look, everybody.
Yeah,
This is the Paul McCartney.
wild stuff.
That's unbelievable. We should get a coin, the Steve Square coin. At your, I'll be getting now. I'm sure I'll be getting something from the Mint. Who sends you those things?
The Franklin
The
Mint?
Franklin Mint. I get things every day from the Franklin Mint telling me to get something.
Like a Derek Jeter coin.
The
or
Derek Jeter
Mario Rivera coin.
You should just
Number
call
2.
yourself Stevie K the Great.
Right, oh, sir.
Why not?
No, throw sir in front of that. Sir Stevie K
Sir
the Great.
Stevie K. I like
Sir
that.
Stevie
yes.
K. Yes, that's better. I want to be a
This is
sir.
what you could do in the giggle room.
Tell me.
Get a bunch of these things minted. Start throwing them out to the people. They love you. Here, take my coins.
Take my coins.
Love me.
Love
Love me.
Love me. Love me true. Why did I pull this? Oh, I did that. This was, I don't know if this is funny, but it bothered me. That's why. It was, it says monstrously vain for getting a facelift. Am I monstrously vain? This woman writes to Carolyn. It's not Eric. And she says, I'm in my late 50s and I'm a lady who has just committed to getting a facelift in a few weeks. Deep down, I do want this, but I'm struggling with the feelings of shame and embarrassment.
And I love you.
As in, am I monstrously vain? Part of the picture I had, now she has to, this is where she tries to rationalize it. Part of the picture is that I had some terrible dermatological treatments as a young person and a very rocky young adulthood. I don't know what that means. She was hitting it hard at the bars. I love how she says a rocky childhood.
I am a bar fly.
I'm a bar whore. Sorry. I got my feet under me later in life, as most of us do.
Yes.
And I guess I want to turn back the clock just a bit. Well, you could do that every April and, right, when they turn the clock back?
There you go. There you go.
Oh, no, that's spring ahead fallback. If I were speaking to a friend in a similar situation, I would have understanding compassion. I wouldn't judge them. I feel like I'm being judged. So now this Carolyn character answers her back and says, where is the line anyway? Is removing a mole vain? What if you just don't like your teeth? Is orthodontia vain? Now this is where I flipped out. Is exercising vain?
Uh-oh.
How dare she put an analogy to exercise, health and fitness, to someone getting their face lifted up? That's wrong. One is for health. That's not, how dare she? Who is this Carolyn Hacks? Of course her name. Look at that. Do you believe that? How dare she use that as a comparison? Exercise to a facelift.
Perfect name here in the comedy club. She's a hack.
She's a hack. If it bothers you, it bothers me. I love that segment. We have no more lefty talk. Anything on you bothering you as a lefty?
I just don't like the ink on my hand.
Okay.
It's really
It was a problem for a long time. Now, did they come up with a solution or nothing? Right? Because did you ever use the reverse notebooks?
I've
Was
seen
there a
that.
reverse,
They do have
like a
reverse
lefty notebook or
I
something?
think
I never
they have a
used
lefty.
those.
I never did either.
Right, because you'd be writing from right to left. They
Right.
did that back in the Stone Age.
Right.
You have to rewrite the wrong way. That was the scriptures. The old scriptures were that way.
The old scriptures.
The old
miss.
The old miss. Hey, look, kids.
You know,
it's
go
a
back
left
to.
bank.
Can I say one more thing before we
You
end
could
the
say
show?
anything
Let
you
me talk
want,
about
of
Mr.
course.
Soto. You know, I've been
Now you're talking about Juan Soto,
Juan Soto.
not Mr. Soto,
Juan Soto,
Soto.
as
not Mr. Soto.
as John would say, Soto.
Soto.
You wouldn't say Soto. We would say Soto.
Yes.
So all these Yankee fans, you're not one of them, Steve, but there are a lot of the real hatred towards Yankees is not the Yankees themselves.
Right. You always said this. It's
it
the
is
fans.
the fans are just some of the most horrendous, and they love to say the Mets fans are horrendous. I think the Yankee fans. Oh, why is that up there?
Tony, Bag of Donuts. He does it.
Tony,
I love
there.
it. There we had a Steve Game Show sighting. That tops it all. That's even better than the little lamb chop that's been on our show. By the way, please donate. We have a signed lamb chop between me and Steve. This is the Garden of Dreams. This is the Governor's Comedy Club Garden of Dreams party. If you sign, it's a signed lamb chop. If you donate $100, you got it. You're in the raffle.
Let's send Steve to the chuckle room.
I'm going to get a lamb chop for my sister's dog. And maybe for all the dogs.
Yes,
we have a
and
lot of
see how
dogs
it
in our
works.
family, and see if she wants lamb
We'll
chop.
look it up and see where.
Where can I buy that? Yeah.
I would think there'd be a Petco or something. But anyway,
Sorry,
Soto,
go
all these
ahead.
people, all the Yankee fans are on the
Well, stop
on
following
the
this
social
stuff.
media, and
Get
they
off
and
the
they
social
and
media.
I hear him on the fan,
Fan.
and they say things like that Soto is that he's a mercenary, that all he cares about is the money, but
Well, of course. I would think that, of course.
Well,
I
of
wouldn't
course.
think otherwise. I would think they all do.
Didn't Catfish Hunter, Reggie Jackson, Dave Winfield, didn't they feel the same way? I don't think they came to New York to be Yankees.
Well, Severino left you guys to go for money. He didn't say, I really like it here in Queens.
Exactly.
So that's their job.
But I
think
it's so-
here's the one point on that, and I was talking about this with someone, and they were saying, if you were a regular person, an ordinary person, you would obviously you try to get the most money you can from a job,
Of course.
right? But what coming back to that was, yeah, but a regular person, you're talking about a salary of $60,000 to $75,000. That means a lot to someone's life in the normal world. When you're now coming close to $1 billion, does $700 million make a difference to $800 million? I mean, and that's just let's also know that's just salary. These guys are making obviously things from apparel and other contracts and things like that. They do fine.
I will say this.
I was going to ask you about this.
Yeah.
Who is that real
That's
quick?
Guy Bronya. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
That's why I brought that in.
interrupt.
No, I wanted to talk about that.
Guy is he's a friend of mine. And,
That's the music
Nick
shop
Joy.
I wanted to ask you about before Steve rudely tried to rat
I'm
on my
sorry,
Yankees.
I'm sorry.
music-
Ah.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
No,
Steve, I'm
you're
sorry.
all sorry.
No.
Everybody's
My fault.
sorry. But who is this? That's what I wanted to ask you. What music shop is this? Because
All music in Plainview.
all music and playing.
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, he owns it. Yeah.
So that's what I was going to ask, because you might know music shops. You don't see a lot of good old music shops anymore. So like the Sam Goody's, or whatever, they've gone
Right.
the wayside. So that's good that I think that there's some of these music shops still around. So he gives lessons, or it's just like a real, you just go there.
He lessons and sells equipment and instruments and stuff. Yeah.
He's 59,
Yeah.
Franklin Square. Where do you know him from?
He's in Franklin Square now. He's a Hicksville guy.
Oh, okay.
He Scatterbrain was one of his big bands.
Wow.
He's been in a few bands that have toured around the world and stuff.
It says the first time Guy Bronya
Yeah.
walked into what would decades later become his music store, times were different. It was the 70s, known as Straub Music.
Correct.
Sold records, musical instruments, and T-shirts in a space that also included pinball machines. It was a fun place to hang out, it says. He said, I grew up coming to this store. Now he owns it. Very cool.
That is.
So if you want to see, what's his name?
Guy Bronya.
Guy Bronya. That's a great name.
Guy. In fact, here's 6 degrees of separation.
Mm-hmm.
Guy is Rick Eberle's partner in putting together the Jones Beach concert.
Oh wow!
In the boardwalk.
In the board on the
Yeah, G
in the
and
shell.
G&R events. It's
Oh,
called
wow.
Guy and Rick.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. That's great. Yeah, so I thought that. That's why I said that, and I don't know why. Just something made me bring that in to show you and ask you about that.
That's funny. Yeah, he's been in here, so maybe I don't know.
Yeah, wow, interesting. All right, that's a good close. We'll close on that.
Well, no, we didn't. He didn't get to finish his
Oh,
point about.
oh,
you did. Oh, was that on purpose?
Well, look, I will.
Oh, you want
I-
to finish? Go ahead,
no,
Steve.
I-
Finish it. Finish. Well, let's give you Steve another 20 minutes to smash me. Go ahead.
I'm not
Let's do that.
smashing you.
No. Go ahead.
I'm-
Anything more to say?
All these Yankee fans.
More. Here he keeps going. He doesn't say no. I'm good. It's 7:30.
All these Yankee fans.
Steve does.
They are
Steve
so
knows nothing about no
spoiled.
time because
They're so spoiled.
Spoiled?
They are spoiled. Not you.
Oh, thank you. I'm spoiled in
They're
other
spoiled
ways.
because they think
Yes.
that they have the right to get anything they want, and the Met fans will suffer, and the Mets should get nothing. And when the Mets try to do something, they will always poo-poo it. And already they're poo-pooing what they did. Because now they're jealous, and they realize now that
They're
that
jealous of what? They
there's
just
another
won the pennant.
there's another sheriff in town now.
There can't be. And this is what I'll say. There's only another sheriff when you're winning. Consistently postseason, like World
That's
Series
great.
and pennants.
As I said, and as
The
we
Knicks,
said before,
this is what they had with the Brooklyn Nets and Knicks. Because they said this. This was the same argument. And I'm just saying, just to be fair. They said, oh, now there's a big Brooklyn Nets. When the Brooklyn Nets were getting a little better, they had Durant and those guys, and they said, oh, the Nets are going to take over the town. The Knicks are gone. And
I'm
they
not
said,
saying-
and I'm just saying, they said the Knicks will always be the Knicks. and people will always come see the Knicks. And now the Nets little thing went away quickly, and they're back to obscurity. I'm just saying it takes more to get that thing going.
I don't.
And of course, there's Met fans, there's Yankee fans, it's both. Let's get along. It starts there.
Yes,
right?
we can
You
all
just
get
said
along.
right about politicians.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's get along.
Yeah. But
Let's get along. I want to get along.
I know we do.
And Steve has come many times with me to Yankee games. In all fairness, he has come so many times with me to Yankee games. He's watched Yankee games with me. He's rooted. Steve's a good. He is an impartial guy. I mean, he's a Met fan, but you know what I mean. He's not one of those diarrhea fans.
All I'm saying is that
Explosive.
the Yankee fans.
He keeps going.
I'm telling you.
7:35.
I am.
You've made your point. In another minute, I'm trying to be gracious here. In another minute, I'm going to pull my straw and stab you in the trachea.
The Mets have always been treated as the laughing stock. And you saw the night before on Saturday Night Live, Dana Carvey threw in a Met joke at on 24 hours before
If it
the
bothers
tables
you, it
before the
bothers
tables
me.
started to turn, Tony. And you know this might be the beginning
Of the end.
exactly.
I'll finish your sentence for you. Anyway, are you done, or do you need another hour?
No,
for the
I've
show?
had enough.
Because then you can write Tony a check.
Let me just inform you, my friend.
Yes.
We have, I think we talked about it, Peter Schwartz from FAN.
Right.
He's been doing a show in here, Sports Bash. Tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Oh, boy.
Zooming in with Peter Schwartz, the one and only Howard Johnson.
Hojo.
Wow.
Hojo will be zooming in.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
He's zooming in.
Zooming in.
Very cool.
Yes, zooming in, yes.
Nice. Wow.
Remember when we used to Zoom?
I do. We used to Zoom.
used to be
Now,
fun.
that's pretty. So that's on your show? Tomorrow? or
No, Sports Bash with Peter Schwartz tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Tomorrow, 1 p.m., Sports Bash.
Right.
All right. Tune into that, because there's a lot of great shows on Knock 'em Dead. There's so many good shows.
Yes, there are.
But there's only one with Sir Steve K. With Sir Stevie K.
Who did I do Sir
Right.
Stevie K?
Well, just like Paul and Elton, I did it myself.
Yeah, why not?
Sure. Well, you know what? America's too good for that. We're not. We don't have to call it. Give ourselves unpretentious titles. I don't think I meant pretentious titles. It's not unpretentious. You know what? It's 7:36. Tony's gonna really. He's just furious right now. He's angered. Anyway, Tony's gonna start saying, "If it bothers you,
I think you're
it
angry.
bothers." And Tony, I'm not angry. I'm all about love. You can look at me like that. I will take that hat and rip it right in. I'll choke you to death with that
I
hat.
thought you'd be wearing the interlocking NY term.
No, I know who I am. I don't need
Oh,
to
really?
wear it.
Oh,
I know who I
my
am. Anyway,
You lived in that visor for 20 years.
For myself. The calm, cool, collected, funny man Stevie.
For the moment.
To my left, the outrageously angered, tortured Met fan that looks for he's anything to try to get mic time.
If it bothers you.
It bothers me. Maybe we should do it like that. You do the first half, I'll do the second half. Anyway, before we run into more money,
Can we do a proper burial for that next show?
Yeah, that's fantastic. And Lefty Talk. Brought to you by Celsius, the new sponsor of Lefty Talk.
The official drink of Juan Soto.
Not anymore. Aaron Judge, baby. No more so. Oh, yeah, he's still the official drink, right?
Yes, he does.
I feel like lefties are always right. That's my new catchphrase.
Oh,
You like that,
That's
huh?
you know what?
Thank
That's
you.
a
That's
nice.
catchy.
That's a nice.
That's good to end on. Anyway.
There you go.
Thanks for tuning in to the Steve Square Show. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Tony.
Uh-oh.
And thanks, Steve. Have a great week, guys.
See you in the chuckle room.
See you in the funny papers.
Giggle room. When you were stealing that extra bow.